Unaligned and toxic connections could be the very reason why you're finding it hard to get from here to there. It's time to evaluate our FFLs. Let's talk it out. What in the world is an FFL? That is a term that I created in my upcoming book, and it stands for family, friends, and lovers. So I don't have to keep repeating myself throughout the whole book. And those are usually the closest relationships that we have. And because they are so close to us, when they become toxic and unaligned, it could hinder us. It can cause us to become stagnant. It can stop us from becoming who we are meant to be, right? So in no particular order, number one, these relationships become toxic when they keep showing up as the same person. Let's say you're on a trajectory, right, to become the best version of yourself. You want to eat better. You want to work out. You don't want to give yourself over to negative thoughts and negative patterns. But this is who they keep showing up as. And to be fair, that is what you had in common with this person. You would talk about other people. You would talk about what other people are doing and what they're not doing. You would complain. You would murmur. You would look at things so pessimistically together. And so now you are deciding that I want to think differently. I want to be positive so that I can get positive results. I don't want to keep doing the same thing and getting the same results. I want to change. I want to transform. But this person wants to continue to be the same person. That can start to produce toxicity in the connection. I don't care how hard you try to stick it out with this person, this friend, this family, this love interest. Their energy, their spirit is going to affect you. You are trucking along and you're really trying to change and transform, and you're wondering why you're not making headway. Is because of who you are attached to. Number two, if this person is not bringing the same energy that you're bringing and there's an imbalance, that can cause you guys to have toxicity in the connection and for it to become unaligned. One person is always showing up spiritually, emotionally, physically, but the other person either isn't capable or willing to bring the same thing. Sometimes people think that they can get a pass because you guys have known each other so long, because there's history there. You've went through certain things together, so they feel like they really don't have to do certain things. Now, if you place an order online with Amazon or with any vendor, there is an agreed expectation, right? They are expecting for your payment to go through, and you are expecting for you to get your package on time, right? It's the same thing in relationships. There is an expectation. There is a balance that has to be there, or the relationship will become toxic. Someone's going to feel unappreciated. Someone's going to feel used. Someone's going to feel taken advantage of. And sometimes we don't even pay attention to it because we're just so used to them being that way. And this is just what I've experienced. We're so used to them being that way, and we're so used to just giving. If you're on that side of the coin, you're so used to giving that you don't even consider that, wait a minute, I'm not receiving what I need to receive. So that would be number two. Check to see if this thing is balanced. And one thing that I do is what I call an emotional regimen. I have an emotional regimen when it comes to FFLs. Checking in every now and then to make sure this thing is balanced. And that could be scary for some people because you may not like the answer that you're going to get. You may not like what you're going to discover, that this thing is truly not balanced. And furthermore, that person may not be able to give you what you're looking for. Number three, cycles. These connections go through these unhealthy cycles where everything is good, then something happens, you break up, and then you come back together and no one discusses what actually happened. You just kind of fall back into the same patterns of making up, breaking up. This is with friendships and with love interests. You don't discuss what happened. You sweep it under the rug. And what's going to happen? The cycle is going to continue. Now, there are some connections that I have and that you may have as well where you know what it is, especially with friends, girlfriends. We know we only talk every 6 months. We come back, we catch up, and then we move on. But I'm talking about people that are claiming you, that are calling you friend, best friend, lover, close family members. They're claiming you and saying that this is who you are to them, but yet you go through these cycles that are unhealthy, that are toxic. Okay, especially when you don't discuss what happened. You just want to pick up where you left off and not discuss why we parted ways. That will produce toxicity in your connection. Number 4, not only do they show up as the same person, but they show up with the same stories. You have these friends and they're dating the same type of person. So that means they're going to have the same stories. They're going to come to you with the same woes. Because they are still the same person, they are going to continue to do the same thing and produce the same stories. But you, on the other hand, you're wanting to change that. You're wanting to change yourself totally, completely. You're basically tired of it. You don't want to hear it anymore. It's a new day for you. It's a new season. You want to be new, right? But they are still the same person producing the same stories. You are not aligned. I do not care how long you've known this person. I don't care if y'all had y'all's babies on the same day. I don't care if both of y'all's middle name is Marie. I don't care if you delivered her baby and you named it Marie. History does not matter when it comes to you following your path and your true journey. And it can be painful. It can happen at unexpected times. The announcement of, hey, I want to be a new person can come at the most inconvenient time. But when destiny calls you, when it's time for you to transform and it's time for you to change, you continue in the connection, seeing that it's unaligned, knowing that it's toxic, you're going to miss out on so much. That has happened to me personally. I've missed out on so many opportunities because I have attended to relationships, family, friends, and lovers that were not aligned with who I am meant to be, who I was going to eventually be, who I am today. I've missed out on a lot of opportunities. I truly have. But all that stuff is being restored to me now because I have taken the time, my emotional regimen, to clean house and to evaluate, is this balance? I've had the hard conversations with people. I have said, hey, this is what I think about this friendship. This is what I think about this relationship. This is what I think as far as us calling ourselves family. This is what family is to me. This is what friendship is to me. This is what being a lover is to me. If it's not a match, then it has to be released lovingly, right? Friends, how many of us have them? Number 5, when your desires, your lifestyle, your life choices just do not line up. They used to in the past, but now as you're becoming who you truly are, they're just not in alignment. And in the past, I would not address those things. I would just see them and I would ignore them for the sake of the friendship, for the sake of the loveship, for the sake of the familyship, right? You just kind of overlook it. You bypass it. But in this season, because I don't want to miss out on anything that is meant for me, anything that I'm supposed to have in the area of abundance, in love, with my career, in life in general, I don't want to miss out on that. So now when I see it, I address it, right? And it causes peace. It may cause pain initially because you may have to release that connection, but I have peace. I have peace in my decisions. I have peace in who I am. And I want to be aligned with people that are aligned with me. You know, I'm not saying that everything has to be perfect and we have to eat the same foods and we have to listen to the same music. We have to, drive the same car. But if we have two different lifestyles, that can produce toxicity. We're not in alignment. And I'm not going to be happy. That person, I'm sure, is not going to be happy. But a lot of people stay together because we've been friends for this long. We blood, so we have to talk. No. Saying that we're close, we're lovers, we're best friends, we're close as far as family, and I'm not changing, and your presence in my life or my presence in your life is not bringing about any growth, what's the point? Now, I grow on my own. I take the initiative to change and to do the work and take a look at myself and, self-care. I make sure I do that, right? So I'm not depending on someone else to make me grow. But if you're going to be here, if you're going to be in my aura and I'm going to be in yours, there should be growth. I should be doing something that promotes growth in your life, spiritually, financially, at least in one area. People have been there. I've been there, and sometimes that's all it is. We're just there. And that right there, wait till I write this book. That right there, sometimes people are just there. And that is even more dangerous sometimes than not having anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? Having somebody that's just there, because then they are a distraction. Then they are just taking up space and they're filling space where something that can be replaced that is more productive for you, right? I'm telling y'all, this is some good stuff. So sometimes we're just there to vent, just there to throw my trash on you. You throw your trash on me. We talk about this, but nobody's growing. How have our finances changed because we're in each other's life? How have we grown spiritually because we're in each other's life? What about emotionally? How have we grown? How have we produced growth in each other? And that is why I did the emotional regimen, where I took a perspective of, okay, this is not balanced. I need to find my tribe. Find your tribe. I need to find a match in all these areas. I need to find a match that is aligned with who I am today. Because some of us are in these family, friendship, love ships based on something that happened in the past, and that past event is no longer relevant. So I wonder if the relationship is even relevant. Sometimes it is, and in some cases it is not. We were friends because we went to the same church and neither one of us even believe that doctrine anymore. We were just friends because we were in relationships together, and we're no longer in those relationships, and our exes are not even friends. So why are we still together? We are only friends because we went to high school together. We are no longer in that zip code. So I had to really, really evaluate these connections. Why? Because I wanted to go somewhere in my life. I wanted to do something more. I wanted to expand. It was calling me. It's driving me to do more, to have more. And some people just don't want to go there. They like where they are. They're comfortable where they are. And even if they don't like it, they don't want to do what it's going to take to get out of that. I'm ready to do that. I'm willing to do that. And I've been like that for years. And that's why for the past 5-6 years, people have been dropping off. That's why I wrote the song Love for You on my album, my other playlist. These are my 6 nuggets for you to chew on so you can determine if this thing is aligned or toxic. The reason why I have the right to question the relevance of any current connections, and you do too, because I'm not the same person that I was when we started our connection. I'm talking about 15, 20-year connections, right? I am a totally different person. So you have every right to question, okay, is this connection still relevant based on, where we started? Because I was walking in some totally different roles back then when I started the connections that I'm referring to. I was a totally different black and white, totally different. Okay, so anybody that gets upset with you or upset with me because I want to question our connection or question the friendship or question, the relationship, that's ego. That lets you know right then and there, this is not the connection for me. If I can't question if something is good for me, if something is healthy for me, if something is benefiting me, of value to me, because I know I'm going to be a benefit and value to anyone that I'm in a connection with, right? So it is relevant to ask that question because I'm not the same person. So I'm not going to relate to you the same way that I used to. So we may need to release what we think we have. And once you have evaluated the connections and you say, you know what, this is just not for me, then you should honestly express that to that person, whether it's the friend, the family, or the lover. I've done that. You have to honestly go to that person and let them know. You are not responsible for their reaction. You're not responsible for how they take it. You're just responsible for being honest and not dragging something on, staying out of obligation. You have a responsibility to live your truth. You have a responsibility to be authentic. That's the symbol you see in my logo. That's a symbol for authenticity right at the top. That's the essence of how I want to live my life. And you cannot be authentic being in connections that are unaligned and toxic. So don't just subscribe, share, tag, and like. Do that. But also apply what you learned in this video and really do an emotional regimen on every connection that you have in your life that you consider close, that you feel might impact your everyday life, but also impact the journey ahead. You can follow me on social media as well as IamDorian.com. Friends, how many of us have them? Friends, the motorcycles are so loud out there. Oh, that's what friends are for.